You know that polished, almost perfect image of celebrity life we always see? It's all glamour, all success, a total highlight reel. But every so often, that perfect facade starts to crack. And what we see underneath is, well, it's messy, it's complicated, and it's surprisingly human. Today, we're going to look past the clickbait headlines at three recent stories where the public and private lives of some very famous people have collided in a big way. So, here's what we got on tap. We're going to break down three totally different situations. First, we're kicking things off with Hailey Bieber and a single TikTok repost that has people questioning, well, everything. Then we'll jump into a very public call-out between influencer Bretman and actress Vanessa Hudgens. And to wrap things up, we're going to take a look at a string of really concerning public incidents involving actor David Harbour. All right, first up, Hailey Bieber. This whole firestorm started with something that seems so small, right? A single repost on TikTok that was deleted almost immediately. But, as you know, in the world of celebrity social media, one tiny action can be enough to set off an earthquake. And this one definitely sent shockwaves through her fan base, raising some really serious questions about her marriage to Justin Bieber. And that brings us to the big question, the one that has everybody talking. Was this just a simple mistake? A slip of the thumb while scrolling through your feed? Or was it something more? Was it an intentional, maybe even a subconscious hint that things aren't as picture perfect as they seem? So what was this video even about that caused all the drama? Well, the main point it makes is actually a pretty sharp criticism of the relationships we tend to admire. It's basically saying that a lot of these long-term couples we look up to, they're not really built on an equal partnership. Instead, they only work because one person, and it's usually the woman, is just putting up with a lot to keep the whole thing together. The video even gives this idea a name, a tolerant codependent, and it defines that as someone who puts up with mediocrity, bad behavior, and does all the emotional heavy lifting just to be in a relationship. But here's the absolute bombshell. The person who made the video didn't just talk about this as a concept. No. They specifically used Hailey Bieber as their main example, arguing that her marriage to Justin only works because she tolerates his behavior, which the video ties back to his past struggles. Okay, so here's the detail that really fuels all the speculation, and it's all about how TikTok actually works. See, reposting something isn't like an accidental like where your thumb just slips. It's a two-step process. First, you have to hit the share button. Then a new menu pops up, and you have to hit the yellow repost button. Because it takes two very specific clicks, a lot of people are finding it really hard to believe it was just an accident. And this is where the whole thing just gets messy. After the repost disappeared, Hailey went on her Instagram story and posted a very firm denial. She wrote, "I didn't repost any videos." The problem with that, the internet always has the receipts. Almost instantly, fans from all over the world started flooding social media with proof, screen recordings, screenshots, some of them even in different languages, all clearly showing the video on her repost feed before it was taken down. All right, so we're shifting gears now. From a drama that was sort of hinted at online, we're moving to a full-blown, very public feud. This next story is all about beauty influencer Bretman and his issues with actress Vanessa Hudgens, which just recently boiled over for everyone to see. And it really makes you think about celebrity interactions in the age of social media. So Bretman did not hold back when he was talking about running into Vanessa Hudgens at Coachella. I mean, look at this quote. He paints this super vivid and honestly pretty awkward picture. He says he was just trying to say hi to someone she was with, and she literally grabbed her assistant and physically used them as a human shield to avoid him. It's a very specific and pretty damning accusation. But see, Bretman's issue here isn't just about that one weird moment. The context is really important. They were both at Coachella working for the same brand. So this wasn't some random fan bothering a celebrity. This was a colleague-to-colleague interaction at a work event. Plus, this isn't the first time he's had an issue with her. He's also publicly called her out for mispronouncing Palawan, which is a famous place in the Philippines, a country they both have heritage from. So this kind of leaves us wondering, what really happened here? Was this just a huge misunderstanding? Maybe she was overwhelmed in a loud place and just didn't recognize him. Or, like Bretman is suggesting, does this point to a bigger pattern of, well, mean girl behavior? In the court of public opinion, a lot of people seem to be siding with Bretman, thinking that for him to call her out so publicly, there must be a good reason. Okay, for our final story, we need to turn to something that feels a lot more serious. It's a deeply concerning and, frankly, escalating series of events surrounding the beloved Stranger Things actor, David Harbour. And this situation has really moved beyond online drama and into a series of very public, very troubling incidents. When you look at the timeline, you can see a really disturbing pattern of escalating behavior. It seems to have started in his personal life with a really messy public divorce from singer Lily Allen. From there, it spilled into a series of bizarre public incidents, like a reported rant at a bar and an aggressive encounter with a family at a gas station. And now it's starting to have a major impact on his career, with him suddenly dropping out of a new movie. And it's not just those public incidents. There are other things adding to this overall picture of concern. He was noticeably absent from a big event for the Stranger Things finale. There have also been these persistent rumors, which, to be clear, his co-star Millie Bobby Brown has publicly denied, about a past on-set complaint. And all of this is being fueled by anonymous reports online suggesting that his behavior is tied to some really serious mental health challenges. And this all seems to be building towards something pretty serious. A recent anonymous tip, what's known in Hollywood as a blind item, suggests that his team is looking at options that go way beyond a standard 30-day rehab stay. The talk has allegedly turned to a potential months-long stay in a dedicated mental health facility, which really indicates that the crisis is far more severe than what we can see from the outside. And all of this, from a suspicious TikTok repost to a public feud to a really distressing personal crisis, leaves us with one final and maybe most important question. All these stories unfold on our screens, right? They become content for us to discuss and debate. But as we watch it all happen, it really forces us to ask a tough question about our own role in all of this. Where does genuine concern end, and where does intrusive, public spectacle begin?